So let's get started. Here is our table. And a couple of columns that we'll be working with are going to be customer ID and customer and name. And here's what we're going to do. We're going to create a block. And in this block, we're going to create a statement that's going to give us an exception. I'm going to insert into the customer table for the inside the customer ID column, and I'm going to attempt to insert a value in there that already exists. The customer ID is a primary key column. If I try to insert a value in there that already exists, it is sure going to give me an error. I'm going to insert an exception block. This is going to be an unnamed exception. Unnamed because I'm just saying that when it's others, which is just no specific error. I'm going to put this line up. And if you notice, when this block runs, I executed the block by doing the right slash. When this block runs, it says an unknown error has occurred. This others keyword inside of exception grabs all exceptions that are unknown. In this case, I know that the error occurred because I tried to insert a value inside the customer ID column. That was a duplicate value. Here's an unnamed exception. So let's enhance our block by adding a named exception for this. One of the named exceptions is dup_val on index. This exception, this named exception, is specifically created to handle the error that we're dealing with, which is a duplicate ID. Duplicate data in a unique column. Now, when I run the same piece of code again, you notice instead of saying an unknown error occurred, which is set up here, I added an additional named exception. In this case, the named exception was called dup_val on index. So the error that was displayed to me was duplicate data in a unique column, which is what this issue is right here. Let's enhance our block some more by removing the insert statement and creating, select name into CNAME from customer where customer ID equals 1.999. Alright. CNAME varchar 250. Okay. Right now, in this block, I have created a select statement, and in the select statement, I am grabbing the name column from the customer table, and I'm going to take that and store it in the CNAME var. CNAME var is created right here, and it is a varchar 2 data type with 50 with a length of 50 characters. But I'm putting in a customer ID that I know does not exist. So right now, as it stands, this is going to give me this error right here, which is an unknown error occurred, because there's no named exception right here for the data that was not found. So let's take a look at this. When I run this, I get a different error because I did not specify the variable in the appropriate location, which would be in the declare section. Sorry, let's try that again. Here we go. So I declared the error. I declared my var in the declare section. I ran the block. I stored the data into the cname var, which I've declared up here. And I'm trying to retrieve a customer ID that does not exist, but there is nothing in here in the exception area that handles the dup val on index, handles the duplicate data in a column, and others handles everything else. And that's the error that occurred. As you can see, it says an unknown error occurred, which is what shows right here. Which is what is shown right here. So let's enhance our block to handle this specific error. There is a specific named exception associated with this, and that is called no data found. And we're going to put in data was not. Run this, and we should get data was not found, as you can see. Let's enhance our block some more by putting in too many rows. This line of code, as it stands, can only hold one row of data. If there's a problem with this, it's going to give an error. Right now, the error is just going to display, as this code stands, it's going to display an unknown error has occurred. And the reason it's going to say that is because we're not handling the error using a named exception. The only two errors that we're handling with the named exception is duplicate data and when the data was not found. So let's take a look at this. Notice it says an unknown error occurred. So let's handle this particular exception appropriately. And the named exception for this is when no data, not when no data found, when too many rows. Too many rows were selected. Run this, and you'll see it says too many rows selected. Comes up. All right. Let's enhance this, correct it, and display the data as customer name. Assuming everything is alright, this should display me the customer name. Here it is. There were no errors associated with this. So here are in this block of code, we have too many rows as one of the named exceptions. Another one is dup val on index, which we discovered. No data found. And then the unnamed exception, which is just others for any other error that occurs.